Hello and welcome to another episode of Deb's Artsy Life. It's Saturday about 7 o'clock, um, August 19th, and my favorite filming position seems to be right here on the corner of my couch. So that's where I am. It's been a gorgeous day here, clear skies, low humidity, low temperatures, and this morning I sat out for several hours on the porch and knitted. And I have to show you what I was knitting. I have started yet another project. Are you surprised? This is going to be a blanket shawl or a blanket scarf. And you see it's the same pattern of knit stitches for the border and then the stockinette stitch, which I absolutely love. Now, I did make one boo-boo. There's a hole in this somewhere, and I'm not sure what happened, but there's the hole. Can you see it? Maybe there it is. Right there. And I think I just yarned over too many times or something, but I'm not going to worry about that. The old me would have worried about it, but the new me is not going to. So the only thing is, I couldn't tell you how many hours I've spent on this little teeny short thing, and I've gotten nowhere, but I enjoy the process. This is that absolutely gorgeous Karen Colorama Halo Perfect Phasing by Yarnspirations. I am in love with this yarn. I mean, if you could be in love with yarn, I am so in love with this yarn. And I want to buy more. I have to go to the doctor on Tuesday, and I'm taking the whole day, and my daughter's going with me, and we're going shopping. So I plan on going to Joann and finding some more of that yarn. It is, I cannot describe it. It is the softest yarn I have ever used in my life. It is like somebody said in the crochet group or the fiber group that meets at the library that it looked like mohair. And it does have a look of something like mohair or, I don't know, something really exquisite. But it is simply acrylic and polyester. It is, and nylon. It's 71% acrylic, 18% nylon, and 11% polyester. And it's machine washable and dryable. So I'm telling you, I'm in love with this. And it has so many beautiful colors. And if you remember my video, um, when I first purchased it, I was so excited because I got these skeins for like $4. And they retail for like $11.99. But there was a 60% off coupon and I was able to use it 4 times. So I just hope they have a 60% off coupon Tuesday. I am taking some big twist yarn back because although I want to like that yarn, I don't. It's too scratchy for me. It's scratchy and it looks plasticky. So I'm gonna try to take it back. Um, somebody asked me, a subscriber asked me to do a tutorial on the 10 round granny square. And I've thought a lot about that, and I may do it at some point, but I was just watching Carrie Penny, Happy Crafty Homemaker, and she just put out a video today about, our authenticity as creators and our brand and how when you share something on this global platform publicly, there's a chance that it could be copied. And I don't know the backstory on her video and what happened at all, but her video is so interesting. And what I want to share with you is that I feel like nothing I create is truly original. And I'm not sure that anybody's is because I've thought a lot about this. I used to really think that, as an artist, I was something special. When I was younger, I don't know. I had this idea that only certain people were gifted with the ability to be an artist. And I do believe that God gives us gifts, absolutely. And I do believe that people are born with more of a desire to create, maybe. I don't know. But I know that with me, it's like breathing. I mean, I that's all I think about. I mean, it's not all I think about, but it's always there, and it's helped me through so many things in life, uh, emotions, anxieties, But I don't think anything I do is really original because it's like stacked on, stacked on, stacked on. All the people who've inspired me all these 53 years. I mean, it's phenomenal. And whether it's painting or crochet or knitting, every single thing I have learned about crochet has been from YouTube videos. That's how I learned, and that's how I picked up tips and tricks. And so the way that I do a granny square is a culmination of so many different teachers, and I'm inspired by so many different people. It's like I told you in my first video, I come home every day and watch Cinnamon Stitches at lunch. And, Ophelia Talks is another channel that has highly influenced me. She is a phenomenal teacher. And I don't want to do that on this channel. I don't want to teach you how to crochet. I thought I did. And maybe at some point I will do that. But what I want to do with this channel is to inspire you, as Carrie Penny said, personally, to create and to learn to crochet, to, you know, search for those YouTube videos that teach the first steps. Learn how to do a single crochet and a double crochet and a half double crochet. I was a sponge when I first learned to crochet. I watched everything I could get my hands on. I wanted to learn every stitch right off the bat. I was just soaking it in, and I was so determined. And I'm the same way with knitting. And there's a plethora of information on the YouTube channels. You don't need another teacher, I don't feel like, and that's not what I'm about. So if you want to do a 10 round granny square, you need to first uh, search for how to make a granny square. Now, I will tell you some of the things that I do, um, that I've learned, as tricks. And the more you watch these videos and the more you crochet, the more you'll learn. In fact, I just learned from Kristen Nicholas, who is an amazing author and artist. And anyway, I learned how to better secure um, my granny square rounds, like how to, instead of chaining one and pulling it through to cast off when you're crocheting. It's not called cast off, but anyway, she chains two, and then she pushes it down and it forms this knot. So you chain two at the end of a round, and I would have to show you, but Google, I mean, no, don't Google it, but search YouTube for her video about hexagons, and it will show you how to do that. And that's just one example of a tip that I picked up from just constantly watching YouTube videos. I'm addicted. I can't help it. And then another one I learned from Ophelia Talks, a lot of patterns will tell you to chain up three for a double crochet. And Ophelia Talks, whose name is actually Anya, she chains two instead. And a lot of crocheters do that. She chains two, and then she goes into the first of these double crochets, which is like a little V. and it forms what looks like another double crochet stitch much better than chaining 3 does, at least for me. So that's one thing I do. And if you want to do a 10 round granny square, you just keep adding, like whatever the video is for a classic granny square, whatever the YouTube uh, tutorial is that you're following, or however you crochet a granny square, just keep going. Just keep going. You can make a whole bedspread. That's what this is. This is just one big, huge granny square. Look at that. It just goes and goes and goes. My daughter, when I first started crocheting, was mesmerized, and she just wanted me to keep going on every granny square I did to see how big I could make it. So, but what I do, and I learned this, it may have been from Ophelia Talks channel. I cannot remember, honestly. I think it was her. But you just you turn your work. So instead of like having a right side and a wrong side, like you can tell, hopefully, if you're a crocheter, that the flower is, this would be the wrong side, really. This is the prettier side. But I'm turning, I'm flipping my, like here's the back side. You can tell that that's the back of the stitch. See, this is the front. So like for my next round, I will crochet on this side. I will join my yarn here, and I will, let me just do that. Let me show you. The way I join my yarn is, and I just learned this, I go like this, and you would normally do that, but then I do it again. See, and that forms a more secure knot. So I would join, and I would just start crocheting on the wrong side. And then the next round I would do the same thing, and I would flip it over. And that keeps your granny square from skewing to the right or the left. And so I have always done that. Some people can get by with, not needing to do that, but I'm not one of them. I've always flipped it. Now, if it's a small granny square, like a 5 round, I won't do that. But if it's any size at all, I have to flip it, or it would be misshapen. So that's one thing I do. The next thing I do is the traditional granny square has a chain space between each cluster of 3 double crochets. The granny stitch is just 3 double crochets, clusters, and two clusters in the corner, and then I chain 2. So I don't chain between them. See how tight that looks? Because I don't like the big holy holes, and I don't like the floppy granny squares. I also don't normally use a bigger hook than what the yarn calls for. I've seen people crochet granny squares with these huge hooks and yarn like this, and their granny squares all mushy gushy floppy, and I don't like that look. So no chains between two chains in the corners, and flip it over after each round, and chain 2 at the start instead of chaining 3, and then join into the not into the 2 chains, but into that first stitch. And you can tell a stitch because it looks like a V. See the top of the stitches? And the more you crochet, the more you'll learn these things. So, like I said, at some point I may do tutorials, but I'll be honest with you, I don't enjoy spending hours on a video. I did that last weekend, and it seems like people really weren't interested in it as much as some of my other videos. I, tried to do a tutorial, and and I tried to use the cell phone and the tripod and combine it all together, and it took hours to upload, and it was just a headache, and it took time away from my time to create because I only have the weekends off. And so I'm gonna try to film from right here. I enjoy this, and it's simple and it's quick, and I don't have to edit it. I just don't have time for all that garbage. There's other wonderful. I don't mean that it's garbage, but it's garbage to me because it takes away from um, my joy, my enjoyment of having a YouTube channel. So no tutorials. I don't know if I'll even try and use the tripod anymore to do painting. I don't know. I'm kind of disheartened in a way because of the response this past week to a video that I spent so much time on, and I'm not being critical of anybody, but except myself. And I think the less time I spend and the more enjoyment I have, the better video it is. So I don't want to sit for hours and wait for something to upload. I'm just not about that. Don't have the time. So um, there are tutorials, many, that you are encouraged to go and find. I encourage everybody to YouTube is the way to go, especially if you're a visual person. I could never have learned to crochet by reading a pattern or reading a book. That's just not how I learn. I had to be shown. And YouTube is great because you can be shown. Okay, I know I'm trying to cover all this stuff at once. One thing I want to show you. I talked to you in one of my videos about this yarn. I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby. It's a print, and this colorway is called Nova Scotian Sky. You notice I always tape my end, so it's a mess. But this yarn, this print from Hobby Lobby is designed for knitters. I've told you that, and it's so true because I want to show you something. I couldn't wait, so I don't know. I guess maybe I have shown this, but I've done more on it. I dearly love the look of knitted fabric. Look at this. This is, again, the garter stitch on the edges and stockinette. And this is going to be a blanket shawl as well, or a blanket scarf. I was going to do a sweater, but I was overwhelmed. I think I talked about that in my last video. So I stepped back, and I've been working on just creating a rectangular piece of fabric that I'll use as a shawl. And I've learned and practiced and enjoyed it. So look at this knitted, okay? And this is a granny square that I did in crochet. For some reason, my camera is blurry. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We got crochet and we've got knitting. Look at the difference. They're both beautiful, but there's no uh, rhyme or reason to the way this looks, It's just random. This has a definite beautiful pattern. And I love, love, love this yarn knitted. It is so beautiful. So I would encourage you to learn to knit and to go to Hobby Lobby and purchase some print yarn because it is luscious. Okay. I have worked some. Well, sorry. I've worked a little more on this. It just keeps getting longer. But it amazes me how much time knitting takes. I mean, gosh. I guess I could actually finish a project if I didn't start 5 billion. But my problem is I want to know how all the yarn, I want to sample all the yarns. So, oh, and I'm serious, y'all. Go to Joann's and get you some Colorama Halo. This is awesome yarn. I am just in love with it. In fact, I said in my first video about this when I bought it that I wouldn't pay $11.99 for it, but I honestly think I might if I had to. If I had to do without this or pay $12, I would pay the $12. That's how good it is. Okay, I've also worked on this, well, not really much at all, but you notice it's kind of floppier because I have used a larger stitch. So I wanted it to be kind of loosey-goosey because I want it to be a drapey sweater. So anyway, gosh, guys, I've got so many projects. This morning, or no, at noon today, I had a Zoom meeting with the ladies from Artfully Inspired Life by Joanne Sharp. And if you want to learn to paint, if you want to paint with joy and abandon and color, then you need to check out Joanne Sharp because she is amazing. And we just have the neatest community on there. Got new glasses this week. By the way, my hair's not fixed. I don't have makeup on because it's Saturday, and Saturday is my no makeup day. Unless, I absolutely have to put it on, I don't. And if I had to put it on for this video, then I probably just wouldn't make a video. I do have clothes on. I'm not in my pajamas, which is sometimes not the case on Saturday. But I wanted to sit on the porch, so I had to put clothes on. But my new glasses. Oh, I'm in love with these glasses. If you could be in love with glasses, I would be in love with these glasses. I have a thing for glasses anyway. I get so excited when I get a new pair. You'd think it was Christmas. But with these, I was excited to be able to see more clearly, which is, of course, the whole point of glasses. But my vision actually improved. It went from a 4.75 in my left eye to a 4. And I mean, I knew something was off. I thought my vision had gotten worse, because I wasn't seeing as well out of my glasses for distance. And, well, and even close up, it was affecting the close up for some reason. And come to find out, it had gotten better, not worse. So I was thrilled, and these glasses are phenomenal. Oh, I can see so well. And they have anti-glare, anti-scratch, transition lenses, and blue light filter. So I got everything you could possibly get as far as bells and whistles. So it's nice to see you. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, I did want to show you something that I thought was funny. This is the project bag that I showed you made out of Cotton Fair Bulky from Premier. And I had this project in it this week. Look. It's two totally different yarn companies. Hobby Lobby and Premier. And the colors are identical. I mean, look at that. You got the green and it's kind of a fuchsia magenta kind of color. And you've got a bluish purple. And here you got the exact same. So when my project was in this bag, you couldn't hardly even see it, except for the knitting needles sticking out. Okay, not that interesting, but I thought it was funny. Now, here's my bedspread I'm working on. I did this square last night. Yeah. So I've only added maybe one square. But let me tell you a secret. The mathematics of crochet granny squares. Because this is a 10 round granny square, any multiple of 5 will work with it. Like I could do 5 2 round squares on the edges, and it would be the same exact size as the 10 round granny. Or I could do 2 5 round grannies and join them, And so I think what I'm going to do, instead of continuing to do nothing but 10 round grannies, is I'm going to put a 5 round granny with the daisy center around, well, a row down each side. Okay, so this will be a square. You can't see it against my white shirt. And there'll be 2 of these, and it'll go all the way down on both sides. And then I'll do the 10 round granny. So all this is for the flower is 12 double crochets and then 2 double crochets in between each from this round. And then in the third round, it's 3 double crochets in between each. No chains. I like for it to look more solid. So I have got, needless to say, a ton of stuff to work on. And I love every minute of it. And I wish that I had more hands and more time. But thank you guys for being here. I hope you'll share my videos, and I hope that you'll remember that good artists borrow. I think good artists borrow, good artists copy, but great artists steal. I think I don't know who said that, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is if you want to copy me, that would just tickle me completely to death. Because nothing I do is really original. I mean, it's inspired by so many people. So um, I hope that I do inspire you enough to make you want to go make what I'm making. Um, and I've learned over the years that you're never as important as you think you are, and you need to be careful not to think you're too important. And you have a whole lot more fun if you just relax and realize, we're all in this together, and it's okay if you're not the next Picasso or whatever. I am in my later years having fun with my art, and I'm so enjoying my creativity. And I wanted to do this YouTube channel because I don't know. I really wanted to do it, and I wanted to be in the yarn community. So I hope that um, and I may lean more toward crochet and knitting as time goes on because I feel like that's what people are more interested in. And I do I do watercolor and all the mixed media and everything, but I'm not sure that, and it's not that I'm trying to get views or likes, but I want to show you what you're interested in. So, um, maybe I'll talk about my art and I'll show you things that I've been working on, but I may just do everything from the corner of this couch because that's where I'm comfortable and that's where I find the most enjoyment in doing a video is just right here talking to you like you're in my living room. And it's so much easier and less stressful than trying to do a tutorial and, have the tripod and film myself painting. Ugh, I just don't do that anymore. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you soon in another video. And until then, check out all the wonderful content on YouTube because it is phenomenal. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.